All right. Part one of the week 5 assignment on Jesse's jewelry. We're going to walk through a few of these steps. This is for part one. If you know how to do part one and you want to move on to the others, you can stop watching this. I'm going to first just make our zoom, make it a little bigger on the screen, a little easier to see. And we're going to go through each step. So step one is create range names and apply cell style formatting. So we have a few different types of handbags here. And so I'm going to highlight these and named range up here. I'm just going to call them handbags. Okay, we could do handbag cost, handbag, but you have to not have any spacing. So handbag underscore cost would work. Okay, and then I'm going to highlight travel bags and change this up here to travel underscore bags. And then totes. I have 2 totes. And then I've got 3 computer bags. I'm going to highlight those 3 computer underscore bags. Okay. So I've got some named ranges. And then I need to apply some cell style formatting. I have some formatting here. I've actually, I'm not specific on what formatting I want you to do. It could be kind of anything. I want you to know that there's these different style formats here. So we could click, theme style. We can go blue. In fact, I like that color. Looks good on the eyes. So we've got number 1 and 2 done. If you want to pick a different color, different theme, feel free to do that. We need to check for some spelling. How we do that? We hit review and then hit the spell check. And then we've got quarter. So that's an abbreviation, QTR. So properly would be to have a period after that. So I'm going to hit change all, and it'll just change all of those. And then we have eco-friendly handbags. I am going to tell you, I'm going to pretend like I'm Jesse now, that eco with all caps is kind of our branding. So let's ignore that. If you change it, I'm not going to mark you down for it, but I'm just going to keep it the same. And then clearly bags is misspelled here. So we're going to change that. And then it looks like we're all done with spell check. Now we have to check for errors. So what could be some errors in formulas? Well, I've got some dollar amounts here. And it looks like this is the total down at the bottom. So I'm going to review those and make sure. So before I do that, I'm just going to highlight these cells. I'm just going to click through and look right up here to see if there's any formulas. If they're just the dollar amount, I'm just scrolling through this top part up here. And let me see if I can put a little arrow on here. So I'm just looking at this right here while I'm clicking through these cells. And I'm making sure they are just numbers until I get to the bottom, and I can see sum. Okay, I'm going to do that again and just make sure that I believe all the formulas are at the bottom, but I'm just clicking through to make sure. And because you're looking for errors. All right, so I don't see any errors. So let me clear that. Annotate, and let me clear that. Okay, so let's go down to these sums at the bottom, and if I double click on it, it shows that I'm adding sum B6 all the way to B18, and that looks to be correct. That's what I want to have done. I want all these to be added up. And so I'm going to hit enter or return because that is correct. I'm going to click column C. I double click and look what happens. It's on first quarter is summed up there. Well, no wonder these are exactly the same. I looked a little funny, but now I know why it looks funny, because it should be adding C, not B. So it should be C6 through C18. So go ahead and correct those. I'm just making it capital, and I'm going to change this one to capital C. And then I can look at what box is around it, hit enter, and then I just double click it again and like Okay, got it. Let's double click on Q3. Okay, that looks all correct. And then let's double click on Q4. What do you see there? It's not all the way up to the top. So you're gonna have to drag this up to the top, or you could just type down here in the bottom, E6, E18. Your choice, doesn't matter. And that looks much better. Now, I only have dollar amount at the top, and these are all dollar amounts. And there is an instruction here to proper format everything. So we want to hit dollar amount for everything because these are all dollar amounts. And then we want it rounded to the nearest dollar. So we're shrinking the decimal to the nearest dollar. All right. Well, we've got step five, and A and B done. And we're going to look at C, which is there should be a named range for each of the following. Handbag. We actually did the name range. Oh, no, we didn't. I did that previously, so I didn't record it. So named range. I've got a few different names here. I've got handbags, eco-friendly bags, carry-ons, etc. Tote. I think so actually we did, didn't we do that? Change name range? Oh, we had to highlight those. There we go. Okay, we did that. We talked about that twice, so I thought I did that already, but that's how I can check, is I highlight them all and I can see up here in the left, oh, there's already a range there. So we've done that. We've done C. All right, now on the annual sorry, my mom says bag, it's bag. On the annual bag cost worksheet, so if we go to the second tab down here, they want us to sum up the quarterly cost of each range. Well, I need to first do that. So I need to sum up the cost. So I've got handbags here, and I need to sum up all of these right here. Okay, so I can hit equal sign, sum, and then watch. I'm just going to highlight all of those, and that didn't work. Okay. Sometimes I could cheat it and go a little quicker. Okay, so we need to have a total of handbag cost on this sheet, and I have these right here are all the handbag costs for all quarters. So I think what's going to be easiest is if we sum up each of these quarters and have total handbag cost here. So I can hit equals, and then let's just sum up this row right here. That's not what I wanted. Hit back. So I want this to be sum of these. And it's not doing my normal trick. So I'm going to have to do it old school and type the cells. So from here, okay. And I can see that that's done properly. That's the sum of those four there. Now I'm going to show you a little trick here. And I want the same thing to happen on this next column or next row. And so what I can do is hit copy, Command C. If I hit Command paste, I can double click and see it just copied what I did on above right below it. So you can manually input this in. You could type equal sum, parentheses B7 colon E7, or you could copy that cell and just paste it right below it. And then just always double check, double click on it and make sure it did it correctly, because we saw some errors. I think when it was created, that's what they thought they were doing, but it created an error. And so sometimes when we go fast, that happens. So I'm just gonna copy those down and I double click and just make sure. Okay. So now I need to add those all up. So here's what I would do is I want to insert like a blank column here. So I can go insert. And this isn't specific to the directions. It's there's a variety of ways to do that, but I want to add all these up. And if I put the total here, I could actually just do handbags here, right? And then I can actually, why don't we just do this? So I can hit equals sum from here. To there. here, here. Okay, so that adds them all up. And that's right here is what we want on the annual bag cost and bag cost. So I can actually hit equals, go back to bags by quarter, hit enter, and that number shows up there. The problem is it doesn't look as clean up here. Does that see that? And we want it to look clean. And so I want it to look cleaner. So that's one way to do it. Otherwise, we can simply type those formulas, like, because this just copies over bag cost by quarter F11 from the previous page. So, so what I'm going to do is cut this and just move it well out of the range so that it's not like part of our design here. Okay, so that's a simpler version for you to follow along. Let's do this for travel bags. Okay, so we have a few different quarters of travel bags. So we have Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. So I want that to equal sum. Keep reading with the parentheses. And travel bag from here, colon, here. And this time, I think I've got it all captured. So I'm going to add up all that. And that's what I want. Clean right there. So this is really what's going to be going on total travel bags. But I'm going to show you something even cooler. So if I hit equals, go back to, sorry, back here. Ooh, I'm going to hit arrow back. Okay. You probably do the same thing. You type it in and it's like, no, I don't want that. That's what's going on here. So I'm just deleting what I have here. Okay, so that cell's blank. I want that to equal sign this cell right here. Okay. And then I have tote bags. So I can hit equal sum parentheses. Now watch. Back to the first page. My tote bags are all right here. So I'm going to highlight all of those, hit enter. Boom. So I have three ways that those are all totaled up there. Okay. So the first way was I added up each individual quarter here. It works, not so pretty. Travel bags, then I just did it one lump here, and then I had the annual bag cost equal that. But most effective is I just do it on this page right here. At the end of the day, we'll have, these are all accurate numbers here, but what looks better and what seems a little faster? I think the last one. So I'm going to show you that on here. Computer bag cost equal sum parentheses. Now I'm going to go over to right here, and I'm going to highlight all of the computer bags and hit enter. And I've got them there. Now I need to total all of this up. So I hit equal sum parentheses, and then I'm just going to highlight all of those and hit enter. I must have messed up. So equals sum parentheses. I'm going to click here and then highlight all of those and hit enter. Okay, there we go. All right. I can go a little bit bigger on here. Okay, that's a little easier to see. So all these are accurate. They just came from different areas. If you're a little clunky and you want to do the first method or the second, feel free to do it. But I wanted to show you a progression of how to get these total numbers here. And if I were to print this, I would ignore this. I could even move it farther off the screen to different cells, but you could use you can use it to calculate there. But so we've summed the quarterly bag cost right here. Now on step 7, we need to add a footer that includes file name. So one of the ways to do that, now this doesn't often show up. Let me stop share and share the entire screen here, my desktop. Okay, cool. So my entire desktop is showing. So what you can do here is you hit File, Page Setup, and then we have Margins, Page, Header, Footer. Okay, so Page, they want it landscapes. We got to click Landscape there. And then they want us to modify the footer. So again, here, footer, and we want a custom footer. So we're going to click Custom Footer. And it says we want the file name. You know what? I forgot to do that in the very beginning, but I know what it's going to be. It's going to be Brad_Barber _business 130 week 5 Jesse's jewelry. And it's centered horizontally. Okay. And let's see, custom footer. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Centered horizontally. Document properties include keywords, merchandise, and bag category. Okay. So sheet, print area, header, footer. It's going through all of these. Margins. Center vertically and horizontally. That is one of them. And okay. Double check one again. Hit OK. All right. And properties. Okay, so we went into properties. That's the last thing. Document properties should include the keywords merchandise and bag category. So we can, this is the summary content. We have some of the content there, custom properties. So document properties. Okay, let's put in computer bag, merchandise bag category. Let's just put those in the summary for category. So we have different properties, keywords. This is not used very much, but if you want to search it, merchandise. So you know when you search things on your computer. This is so you could like search it, and we're looking for like, what's that file name again? If you can't remember, it was called Business 130, Brad Barber. Business 130, you could be like, oh, it's about the merchandising. It's about bag categories, and you could search and find that category. So that's like that's kind of an advanced thing, tagging your document so you can search it easier on your computer. Well, that kind of wraps up part one. We did a little bit overboard, a little bit of extra site viewing on there, but that should get you through part one.